This podcast contains discussions of violence and other subject matter that may be triggering or disturbing to some audiences. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Does that bother you? No, because I didn't ask them for that. I don't need nothing from them. I got my money coming in, and I got my money. I don't need nothing from them. I just don't need them to touch my stuff and take it from me, which is what they did when Emilio Fusco got out of prison in 07. I was 07. He started getting involved in my shit because he's a made guy. He could go to people and say, what you got going on? I want to be a blah, 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 blah. And he starts stealing it. So, but it didn't matter because I got out shortly after in 08 because we beat the case and I get out in 08. That's when I took back, like a little bit so I could earn some money. Yeah. I had some loan shark and some numbers. But I wanted nothing to do with going to New York, especially with the informant guy. It's not official yet that he's an informant, but he was just a bad guy, Yeah. And so I want nothing to do with going down there, nothing to do with, they were trying to get my guys to kill for them while I was in prison. I told my guys, listen, you were with me. I go, don't listen to them. They wanted them to go to New York to kill more. I stopped them from going to New York and killing more. Yeah, they were using them. They were going to use them like crash dummies after.
They didn't give a fuck what happens then afterwards.
No, you got these crazy guys. They already came down to New York and shot this guy. Let's get him down there and kill everybody. And my guys probably would have did it.
So it was Freddie and Ty.
Well, it was Freddie because Ty was locked up with me, but Freddie didn't want to go. He goes, what do you think? He sent me a message while I was in there, and I said, Freddie, absolutely do not go. Tell him do not go and avoid him. And Freddie even thought, what he thought? He thought they were trying to get him down there to clip him, to kill him. Because in that life, that's what you think. They want this kid, because don't forget, he was involved in the shooting of the guy in New York. And he's involved in the Bruno shooting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they want to get rid of him.
Right.
And so probably could make sense that they probably were thinking about doing that. But anyways, I told them not to go down. And so, I come home and I wanted to be with my kids, do legitimate. I still wanted to capitalize on the legitimate money. The nightclubs, stuff like that, the strip clubs. I was getting involved in the exterminating biz. I had major real estate deals and tow truck industry deals with the tires and stuff. So, but I was done with, and you know what? Here's another thing too with that. Like, once you kill one person, if somebody deserves to get killed, that's how you look at it now. I'm going to kill him too. And there was so many people I had to kill. I wanted to kill.
It was just kind of
I was never going to. I had to kill them. I wanted to kill the kid Joe. It was like there's so many people that it would have never ended, and you're not going to get away with killing all the people. And then these other kids want to get made, right? And they just want to get their button, and they didn't do nothing. Dude, we had to go to New York, shoot a guy 9 times. I had to kill him. I had a conspiracy to kill him. I had to kill this guy. And you just want me to say, oh yeah, I'm going to make you? You got to put work in.
You got to put skin in the game. 100%.
Right. This kid that they called the boss here, him and his father comes up to me, goes, oh, will you make my son? He said, my son, he's your, is your best man. And, he's very close with you. He's loyal to you. Will you make my son? I said, Amadeo, listen. I said, you got to put in work. I go, what do you think? It's just like, well, no, we shoot anybody for you. He said, we shoot anybody for you. Okay, well, shoot somebody and then we'll talk about those guys.
And then let's chat.
Yeah. So, it was like when I got out on 08, it was like, I pretty much, you see the writing on the wall too.
Right.
And I was like you guys must have read the papers. I was like the John Gotti of
100%.
Western Mass and Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was like, and even nationally but it was like, I was the most notorious organized crime guy outside of New York. Like they were all after me. They were bugging my cars. They were bugging my phones. They were bugging restaurants that I owned, their houses that we did the work. And that's how we got indicted.
Did you know how they were like? Because I know, I think they put something on your expedition at the time or something. But did you know, did you think to yourself, after knowing that they did do that, oh yeah, it must have been that day when we.
Oh, I know that when he did. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I always talked on the phone, and I always talked in places like this where they can hear us.
Yeah.
In whispers. So I would never talk in the car, and I would never talk on the phone about business
ever.
And if I did, if it was about something, I would never talk there. Period. There's no reason for you to.
Right.
We'll get out and we'll talk, and we'll do something like that. So they never got shit on me with the truck and the phones, but with the house. They bugged one of my guys' houses that we used to do the work in, the numbers, sports, and all the rackets. and we used to meet there every Sunday. They broke into the house, they put the bugs in, and they got us doing all the work. So that was my last indictment in 05 that took me off the streets. So I had 2 state racketeer indictments, 1 federal racketeer indictment, and that's what got me to 3 to 3.5 in the state and the 29 months into the feds.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up doing that time, and I got out in 08.
And then you get out in 08 and you're like, again, like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just because you know how to make money. It's not every guy knows how to make money, but you can make money hand over fist without killing one person.
Right. So that's what I want to do. Take care of my family, start getting back, get involved in legitimate business, and try to weather out this storm of this heat that's on me.
Yeah.
Maybe get through it. And, and at the same time, I can't keep giving them these 2-3 year sentences that they keep giving. Okay. So it's like, I got to get involved in legitimate and leave that stuff alone.
Yeah. Over the course of your full time, how many years did you do in prison?
13 years.
That's a lot of life to lose behind bars.
And here's the thing. So not only did I do 13 years, but it's also a hard thing, Barry. Would you want after somebody reporting on top of your shoulders, like say, for instance, we're here and you get a phone call and it's like, hey, where are you? Oh, I'm not having dinner. Oh, yeah, I need to do a piss test with you. Like say it's your probation bag. Yeah. So my whole life from 15 years old until 50, I got off probation in 20. So that was like 5 years ago. So I'm 50. So from 15 to 50, say 53, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So out of 38 years, I would say that I was a free man without either being on bail, on a curfew, in prison, on probation, or on parole. I think out of 38 years, I was maybe 3 years or 4 years out of that without having to report to somebody. Because people...
You weren't a free man either.
Right. So you get out of prison. You just did, say this last time, 7 years. Now you got a probation lady calling you up going, hey, did you go to work today? And you got PTSD. It's like, any little thing, people call up on you, say things, your freedom could get taken away just like that. So it's like, so it's a relief when you get all that off your shoulders and we have nothing.
Just live your life.
Right.
So when you get out the final time, what is left, as far as your family and things like that? What does that look like?
So from the last time, 17, so everything is totally different. It's like, I don't have the influence. I have the respect, only it's not shown like that. It's like, because I did a lot of crime in my Western Mass, Connecticut area, right? And so how you expect somebody you're involved in killing a family member to be nice to you or, talk to you or whatever, and things like that. So it's hard to network when it comes to that. And so I did about 7.5 years. I got an 8.5 year sentence the last time. And you just that alone coming out to the world, phones, the technology, everything, things like that, to adapt back into society. That's why I'm number one. And then I'm not in that life anymore. I used to come out to parties and all kinds of, celebrations. And now I'm coming out to, I'm going back to what house I grew up in. And I don't have the same friends anymore. I don't have the same networking team that I had back then. So everything is just, what I'm coming back for is my family, my kids, to get back into their life. But other than that, I'm coming back to nothing.
Right.
So, it's, that was hard adapting to that.
How'd the family, your family through it all? Obviously, ex-wife now, things like that. The other thing we want to talk about too is I'm kind of shooting around here about in the mafia, because I know a lot of people are going to ask him, you had your wife. Mm. Is it always standard to have a girlfriend too?
I never trusted my wife with her personally, but I never had a girlfriend until later. After I came home in 2008 and she went through all that money.
Yeah.
And I just had no respect for her.
You were pissed off. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of freaking.
And I could tell you a lot of things. I'm going to hold off about her, but I want you to put this in the podcast because I saved her a lot of grief in the book I wrote.
Yes.
But I could have went very hard on her. And it's a shame that, I haven't seen my daughters. I try to get into their life. She kept them away from me. She kept them away. I wrote them letters. My girlfriend offered to bring my daughters up. She could have came with her. She kept my daughters away at a young age. And everyone knows how much I was close with my daughters. And so when I came home specifically in 17 to be with my kids, especially my son lives with me. But my two daughters live with her. She got remarried to this scumbag lowlife.
Yeah.
That Bruno beat up. It's in the book. He's the barber that Bruno beat up. Yeah, he's a weasel lowlife.
That's who she married?
Yeah, she married him.
God.
So, he's like 20 years older than her, and, he's got money. So, she was a pretty girl back then, and I'm looking at life in prison. Here he comes and, beat a knight in trying not, right? But here's the thing. I come home. They don't want to let me see my daughters. I come home. I said, I want to see my daughters. And they say, if you want to see your daughters, go to court. This is what a man he is. He's not a man. All of his wives cheat on him. She's probably going to cheat on him too, like she did with me. But anyways, we'll get into all that, another day. So now I come home. I try to get into their lives. They keep me away from them. We go to court. My daughters write me a letter in court, said, Daddy, we're not ready to see you yet. We'll let you know when we're ready. So me being the father, I did what I had to do. I came back to try to be in their lives. They say no. I said, okay, girls, you let me know. We dropped the case in court. That was in 2017, right?
Yeah.
And she's always been about money. Like I said, she spent $1.5 million when I was in prison. I left her another 150. She said I left her broken, penniless. I left her 150,000 in 2010 when I got taken off the streets. The money that I left her, I had a Jaguar, the cars, all the stuff that was there, the money that was coming in, the 4 or 5 months that was coming in that she was getting, but she doesn't tell anybody that. She said I left her penniless. Yeah. So now she doesn't want me to see my kids. But guess what? Now she sees I wrote a book. She sees I got a wine business and everything. Guess what? Now she's looking for money again. Imagine what a scumbag, like a husband, that you let your wife come and look for money after you keep the kids away from. What kind of guy would keep their daughters away from the father?
100%.
You're kind of a man.
100%. Not a man.
Not a man. And then, now all of a sudden, because she's always been about the money, very envious and jealous. Now all of a sudden I got to go to court and here's the thing. I even say I'll help pay for her school.
Yeah.
I reach out to my daughter, right? I says, meet me and I'll help pay for your school.
Yeah.
She says, yeah, Daddy, that sounds good. I get out of school in May. Never hear from her. Never nothing. But she wants me to pay tens of thousands of dollars.
And still to this day, no
nothing. No contact.
Do they live in the area?
Yeah, they're 10 minutes from me. Okay. I live in East Long Meadow. I live in Springfield. And I saved my son. She abandoned my son when he was 16 years old. I saved him. He lives with me.
Yeah.
My sister lives with me. My mother lives with me. So I saved all of them by coming back home.
So do you also get to say, you live in your family house? Do I have that right?
So it's my house. Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
Okay.
But it's the house I grew up with, since I've been a little kid. It was, when I was a little kid, that's the house I grew up, one of the houses.
It comes around full circle. I mean, you look at a guy like you think you got out of jail, you would live somewhere else. You'd live somewhere maybe grandiose. So you're right back to your childhood.
Right.
Do you feel comfort there?
Well, listen, I didn't have to. I came back here for the specific reason of getting back in my kids' lives. 100%. That's what, I think any, father, I was in prison, yet, girls and everything. And that's fine. Like, I don't, I'm a notorious figure and I don't want to put any, because of my last name, have them take any brunt of anything. So it's fine. I went on my own. So everything is good until now I'm back in, trying to get money, as usual.
Right.
So I think that I either read or saw somewhere you didn't necessarily have any regrets, but you didn't feel like you had to join the mafia. Does that still stand true?
Yeah. So when I get asked this all the time, do I have regrets? And my regrets are, and I say it just like this. I just did a podcast 2 days ago. What it is I have no regrets about the life I lived when it comes to the money.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was a millionaire before the mafia. If I could go back and do that and just sell the marijuana, because they're not unethical crimes. They're all legal today. Sports gambling, the casinos are everywhere. The marijuana.
100%.
you can go to the bank and borrow money, right? And the bank will treat you worse than we will.
Yeah.
Before you're out of your house if you don't pay. So I would do all the money crimes and make the millions of dollars and then get involved in real estate and then try to become a billionaire.
Right.
Right. And that's what I would do. Now I regret the violence. I regret getting made into the mafia because I didn't need it. So if I didn't get made in 03 and I just waited, right? Look what happened to the mafia. It disintegrated.
Literally disintegrated.
Right. So it's not the powerful organization that it was when I grew up in. So if I could just got past that rough time and let things take its course, there would have been no mafia for me to get involved in the way it was and this and that. But you never know going back. You never know how things are going to turn out. But I regret the violence, the murder, participating in the violence and the murders. And that part I regret. Do I have remorse for it? I don't have remorse. It's just I regret it because, like same thing. If you ask those same individuals, if Uno got an order to kill me, I'd be gone.
That's what it was that I read. You said, yep.
He'd kill me in 2 seconds. If he got an order from New York and he had to kill me, he would kill me.
Which is, it's hard to understand that. It's hard to fathom it. It's like, no, I get it. There's no loyalty there.
Well, I get it.
There's no loyalty. You become made, you give your loyalty to family, but yet at the same time, it's like you could slip up one time. Family has absolutely no fucking loyalty to you whatsoever.
No, listen, you hear listen, it's not just me. Listen to any mobsters talking about the life. When you go to jail, they try to steal everything when you're on the streets. Steal your customers, steal your, sports customers and all that, your rackets, your woman. But when you go to prison, especially, they'll take anything. They'll take anything that they can because you're not there. And especially if you're going to go do 20, 30, 40 years, who's going to kill for you on this? Who you going to get to go shoot somebody for you while you're in prison? No one's going to do it.
That's kind of loyalty like no other, but there's none out there. Name one.
Exactly. Unless, a very odd experience, but nobody's going to do it. And then now they do this to you and then you do this time, what are you going to do? You're going to look to kill them. So it's a never ending game. It's like, it's never ending. You go to prison now and while you're in prison, if you don't release that anger and hatred that you have, it's going to eat you up and kill you with cancer.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like every day I want to kill this kid. I can't wait till they get out and kill. If you don't let go of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it'll eat you up.
It'll eat you up.
It'll destroy you.
Right.
How does it feel? We did get this comment. You hear this too. It's nothing new. He's a fucking rat. That is hard. What do you have to say to those people? Tough guys that say that.
A lot of those people, right, that say that are wannabes, number one. They weren't involved with anything in the life. Okay, so that's 99% of them. You never see a real stand-up, real street guy that's about the streets will ever come publicly and say that. They'll think that in their head and they'll say that, but they're not. It's all the wannabes that most likely are rats themselves. It's a lot of them are.
A lot of rats, yeah.
And they got skeletons in their closets for a lot of other things, but it's a lot of wannabes that were never nothing. And just like in life, they're jealous and about this and about that. And it all boils down to that. They'll never say it to your face and things like that. And here's the thing. So every single one of them. So when I come back into my area, this is like how the double standards, the two-faced, every single one have said, oh, if I was in your position, I would have did the same thing.
But they weren't, though.
But they weren't. But if they were,
right,
they would have said, they would have did the same thing. But then it went on public, they won't admit they said that. But to my face, they say that.
They'll say that. Of course they will.
Oh, they'll come to my house and hug me and be like, oh my God, are you crazy? I would have definitely, blah, blah, blah. But on the YouTube level or on the level like this, and when you look at like, if you left here drunk and got into a car accident and you were drunk driving and you killed a family of 5, how long are you going to go away to jail for? Like 30, 40 years?
Yep.
Right. Okay. There's no government's no one's coming to you to get you out of it. You ain't getting out of it. Right. So in our case, it's like they gave us, it's like, look at the blessing that somebody's going to come to get you out of a death penalty case and you got that opportunity and you almost don't take it. Like I almost didn't take it.
So I know. But
you know what I'm saying?
What are you going to do? Rot in fucking jail?
With my what?
Were you going to rot in jail?
Well, no, that's the case. Like I'd rather get killed on the streets than to rot in jail. It's, like if you're telling me to pick and choose what's important, my kids and my family are important.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's coming. You're not important more than my kids.
Right.
So if you're giving me a chance to get back on my kids now, the next best thing is if we are so-called friends, then do what I'm doing.
Right.
Then do it. You do it too.
Right.
I'm not more important than your kids. If I'm doing it, you do it too.
Right.
And the thing about it was, it's like I said, if you got in trouble for running over drunk driving, they're not giving you a break, right?
No.
But our indictment came out of New York. We got lucky. Our indictment came out of New York City. They give those type of deals. People, I still got 8.5 years, but they still give those deals. They give you like that. So it was like New York City cared about New York City. They didn't care about Springfield, Mass. And Connecticut and all that.
Right.
So it was like they're giving you a chance.
Yeah.
To say, here's your like a miracle to happen to get out.
Right.
And you're thinking not to take it.
Stay in jail when nobody else is being loyal to you either?
But why think about this. It's like, so if somebody said that to you, what's there to think about? But that's what I'm saying. We're so brainwashed and it's embedded in us not to do that you almost do it. And a lot of people don't do it and then they regret it later. They're like 10 years in, 20 years in. I'm over here with these scumbags and these lowlifes and these scum. And I left my kids for dead. To grow up with other father raising them and, the mothers with another guy now and, you're not there for them and all this stuff. So it's not really a hard thing. It makes it hard for us because they're, the way we grew up, but.
Right. Because it's solidified into like, off from the rat.
Right.
But
they all do it. They all will do it.
But they
you
all
put
do it.
somebody, especially it's always the ones that point the fingers the most got the dirty laundry and everything. It's always them.
Yeah.
Put them in a position, even like I could tell you stories with some of them that were facing 18 months and 2 years crying like babies just to go, if they ever got a life sentence thing and they're going to talk about that, you know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah. Freddie
and Ty, they're doing life sentences, both of them. If they were to get out tomorrow, do you think they would come after you? Do you think they would kill you?
It would be like we were on the streets. They're going to kill me. I'm going to kill them. So if that's the case, someone's going to die. Maybe they die.
Okay.
If that's the approach they want to take.
Just thinking about them in retrospect and thinking about like how cold-blooded killers they are.
They didn't do nothing without me. Everyone calls them cold-blooded killers. Name one thing they killed without me being right by their side beside a 90-year-old man in prison.
Yeah.
Every single shooting that they did, every single killing.
Whitey
Bulger? It wasn't me.
Whitey Bulger?
Right. I just said 90-year-old man in prison.
Okay.
Right. If it wasn't for me telling them, let's go kill this guy, they probably would have never killed a guy in their life.
Got it.
So, they never beat up anybody for me. They never shot anybody for me. If we had to go shoot somebody, I was right by their side. When we shot the guy in New York, Freddie was the driver, me and Ty were the shooters. Who did they beat up for me? Name one guy they beat up with a bat without me being right by their side.
Right.
And I had 100 guys that would beat up guys with bats and shoot guys and everything.
You were right up there with them.
They get
your seats up right with them.
Right. Ty's like the paranoid schizophrenic. He's like the people were more afraid of.
Yeah.
People weren't afraid of Freddie. Freddie was like more laid back and, like things like that.
He looked like an insurance. He could look like an insurance salesman.
Right. Frankie Fogliano had him go meet some guys in New York and he told them, he said, when you meet this guy, don't get scared. He looks like a Fed.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So he goes, when you see him, don't get nervous and everything. He's good, but he looks like a Fed.
Yeah.
So I think this was great.
What if we
can we do? Yeah, I kind of want to do a shameless plug for Anthony.
Yeah, of course.
Between the book and the wine, can we do that?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Okay. So I do want to tell our listeners and our viewers to please make sure you guys purchase South End Syndicate: How I Took Over the Genovese Springfield Crew. This is very, very interesting reading. Make sure you guys get this on Amazon. And if you don't mind, Anthony, can you speak a little bit about your wine business?
So
I don't want to say it wrong.
We discussed how my father Pozzo.
But you can say no.
I didn't grow up with that family. Hold on.
Pazzo is more like, like English.
No, but how do you say it the Italian way?
I like saying pazzo.
Pazzo wine.
That, if your haters want to like really blow their heads off and you say pazzo. Smile. Say. But my father, we discussed in the wine grape business.
Yeah.
So this is like my father would be very proud that I'm in the wine business. And, it's like my partners are like billionaires. They own 3 wineries and we're looking to expand and make it a lot bigger. And it's just like, being in the wine business at a young age. I was drinking homemade wine at 4 years old. My grandfather was making, they were making this.
You were right there in it all.
Yeah. So now I got my own wine. And it's like, it's a really good, it's Pazzo wine. It's sold online. If you go to my Instagram, Anthony Arillotta, the link is there, Facebook. You can DM me too. I can send you signed copies of the book and also the wine.
Yeah.
And also, it's, the link is there. So you can order it online.
And
anyone that's local can, meet with me and we can, DM me for, I sign the bottles too. It's like,
Are you serious?
Yeah. So the bottles are long ways. And then there's like a little strip here and I get the gold marker.
No,
it comes out beautiful. No, and I sign the bottles long way. Yeah.
And we'll catch up with you throughout the summer. Maybe we can do something again.
Yeah. We'll have a wine taste.
I would love that. I would love
a Pazzo podcast.
That's what we let's do it. Let's do a wine taste.
We'll talk after. I'm good for that though. Before
we go, Emily, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
Thank you. This means a lot. It really does.
Is there anything we missed? Is there anything in the last couple minutes here? If you could just say anything to our viewers, or is there anything that?
Well, I think you guys covered a lot. I've been in like 100 podcasts, so there's a lot out there.
Yeah, can I say something? I have a little bit of beef with you, right? No, Pussy told me not to. I have a little bit of beef with you right now. So we saw you did a podcast recently.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just be the wives and not the girlfriends? Because we saw it was another female podcast. Shout out to other female podcasters.
We were so excited. We're like, okay, we're gonna be like the first, not the first females, but
like the females. You know what I mean?
And then, and then Anto says to me down there, he's like, yeah, it's like he did one with another chick a couple days ago.
So we just want to be the wives. Like, you know what I mean? That's all. That's my beef right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll be one big family.
That's right. Or that works too. That works too. That's right. No, but thank you so much. Thank
you, Arillotta. Fat Side Syndicate. You can get this book on Amazon, like I did.
Yep.
Barnes and Noble. You get it everywhere.
Yep. Amazon.
Pazzo wine
comes in a couple days. Yep.
We'll have all the links. Incredible opportunity for us. As you guys know, we haven't even hit 1 year on the podcast yet, and we're monetizing worldwide.
Yep.
And honestly, it's all because of people like Anthony who give us a shot and sit down with us and give us the time of day to help us grow. So from one Italian American to the other, thank you so much, Anthony. It means lots.
My pleasure.
And from a half Italian.
Yes,
to a full Italian.
Jamaican Italian.
I'm a Jamaican Italian, I guess. Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. You guys have a great show. You do a good job.
Thank you very much.
I really had a good time.
Yeah, no, this was fun. This was fun. Thank you very much. Everybody, twotalkingfools.com. Thank you.